Hey, what's going on everyone? MVP here, bringing you guys an NES Season 2 a draft recap for your Detroit Darkrais. I'll be giving quick previews on each pick and talk about how they fit into the team. So, before the draft, we had an option to franchise a Pokemon or keep a Pokemon from our Season 1 roster, bring it to our Season 2 roster. So I decided to exercise that option and bring along Porygon 2. It was the defensive MVP of Season 1, with high HP, defense, special defense, and the ability to use Eviolite mixed with things like recovery, T-Wave, Toxic to stall opponents out, or have options to go a little more offensive with Charge Beam, Ice Beam, Tri-Attack. Very good Pokemon overall. It was very good for me. It brought it for 11 weeks out of 15 in the regular season. Had to keep it on board. So heading into the draft, the first pick I went with was Heatran. I was kind of thinking of a fire, water, grass core, and Heatran was the perfect first pick for me. Has high offense, very good defenses, and HP to have some natural bulk to it. So overall, I can build it to be more bulkier if I need to, or build it to be very offensive, or maybe a mix. It fits very well. It has good resistances, has some weaknesses I can definitely cover for it with some later picks. So into round 2, I picked up Rotom Wash. It was more of the complement to my Heatran. It can cover for things like the ground weakness, encounter any fighting types or such. I can use Will-O-Wisp on the Rotom to cripple any physical attackers. Very naturally high defenses and a very good special attack, so it can be a mixed again, very bulky attacker, or it can go, all out attacker or all out defense. It just depends on what I need for that week. So that was a good option there for my water type. Also gets Volt Switch. Don't run Volt Switch too much. Don't pick those kind of Pokemon up, but having that option this season should be very good for me. So next round, I picked up Salamence. So originally in round 2, before round 2, I thought maybe I could pick up Landorus T, but that was not the case, as someone did pick it up later in round 1. I don't really regret that option because I really wanted Heatran more. But anyways, I picked up Salamence. It's kind of like a Lando T-Light in my eyes from the draft. They both have that 4 times weakness eye, so I can play around that with my Heatran and Rotom. And then it gets things like Intimidate. But instead of Lando, a little slower but high attack, I can get things like Dragon Dance or put on Moxie. Intimidate, still the same, but I can also run some Z Crystals. Very good Z Crystal user, so that should be very exciting to use. Next, I drafted a Zelf. A Zelf I had in the previous season, picked it up about halfway through as a free agent. Very good utility, very good offense. The special attack and attack are even, so I can bring either special or physical sets. High speed, 115, so I'll outspeed a lot of threats that I might face. And it has very good coverage, a lot of coverage moves, so if there's like a few threats that a Zelf needs to take down, then I can run a move for probably each of those threats and run things like Stealth Rocks and Taunt to be a little more utility, Explosion for the lulz, and just very good overall. It did a lot for my team last season and should do a lot for my team this season as well. In the next round, I picked up Metagross. Now, I didn't really know what to pick up in this round. I was kind of debating on a few different things, but then before my pick came up, I kind of saw Metagross still available, and I'm like, you know what, let me pick up Metagross. Steel Psychic, very good defensive typing, and very good defenses as well. 130 defense, has some natural bulk there, so I don't really have to worry about investing into that if I wanted to do a tankier set, so I can invest in HP and special defense, or I can go really offensive, attack speed, or maybe like attack and HP for a little more bulk. You can run different items, many different items, so that's very exciting for me to use. Things like agility, very scary Pokemon if you don't know what set it might have. So next, I picked up a Mungus. So originally, I was hoping to possibly pick up Mega Venusaur. I was deciding to pick up a Mega Pokemon later in the draft and hoping no one would pick on Venusaur. Obviously, it's very good. It got picked early on, so there's nothing I can do about that. But I picked up a Mungus, grass, poison still. It doesn't have that fire ice down to neutral with the ability, but it has Regenerator, which can heal on switching out, so that's very nice. But it does get access to things like Spore, which would be very good for my team if I need to put a Pokemon to sleep, or I can use Toxics, Giga Drain, Sludge Bomb. Very good options all around for Amoonguss. Next round, I picked up Cradle II. I don't really know exactly why. I kind of think that I picked it up to be maybe a different grass defensive Pokemon to Amoonguss, maybe Grass Poison. Even though Grass Poison, very good defensive typing, might not be as good 1 week, so I could bring Cradle, which has some very good defenses. The defense stats are higher on Cradle than Amoonguss. Maybe HP is a little lower, which helps Amoonguss out, but Cradle, just another good grass defensive option. Runs things like Curse, gets Recover, Giga Drain, Leech Seed, Stealth Rocks, I believe so. So that's very good. Just another strong grass typing. You know, if it gets threatened, I can just pull out into Rotom or my Heatran, which covers for it. So, you know, all my defensive Pokemon really are to cover for each other, which is very nice there. So in the next round, I went with Ima Start. I was thinking I needed a really good just dedicated water special attacker, because water just as a special attacker, you know, very powerful, not a whole lot that can resist it, and then with some good coverage as well, I can get around things that might resist water. So I picked up Ima Start because it has the Shell Smash and it has the options to, you know, rock, ground, ice moves, water moves, obviously. Can run Stealth Rocks if it wants. Hidden power sets are always good, so it can just get off a Shell Smash, you know, outspeed the opponent and start sweeping if it can do. And I love Ima Start anyway. It's just, I love the whole Lord Helix thing. So Ima Start definitely a favorite for me. So hopefully it'll be a very powerful special attacker, special sweeper this season. So for my last pick before my Mega, second to last round, I decided to go with Grandal. Now, I like Grandal. I felt like I needed a fairy type because I know Dragon, Fairy, Steel cores are very common as well to the fire, water, grass. So I felt like, you know, if I had another core there, that would work out very well. And Grandal can be more of a defensive tank, not as much of a tank, but more of a disruptor because he has the Intimidate ability. I can bring it in on a physical attack there that won't do very well against a fairy. Bring it in and it can just start walling some stuff out. If something comes in to threaten it, I don't know, like a poison type, I can bring in my Metagross if I bring it along, or Heatran. So I have a lot of options there with Grandal, and it gets access to things like close combat. So if I face up against a steel type, instead of being, you know, locked out, not being able to do anything, bring it in, close combat, you know, easy damage, easy KOs for Grandal. Now the last pick, I went with Charizard X. I was the very last person to pick up a Mega Pokemon, so I you know, had the options of whatever was left. I felt like, to me, the Megas are really weird to pick from if you pick on early. If you have a set Mega in mind, like if you have a plan for what Mega you want, then pick early on so you can get it. If you don't have any Mega in mind like I did kind of have Mega Venusaur. Like Mega Venusaur was kind of half there, half not. You know, if it's available, I'll take it. If not, I can get some other defensive options to replace it, like the Amoonguss. So I was last pick, and Charizard X was left on the board, and I just felt like I just needed a really good physical sweeper that can just set up in like one turn and just go off with insane damage. Because of the Tough Claws ability, gets a 33% boost to contact moves, so things like Dragon Claw, Flare Blitz do insane damage. And I do notice on my team, like, there's a lot of offense coming from like Fire and Dragon, a little bit of, you know, water, like Fire, Dragon, Water, which is all very good coverage, I believe. So overall, I believe it rounded off the team really nice. It's just a physical threat that can just come in, and if you can't deal with it immediately, it can set up on you and do some insane damage. So if you get a nice scenario where you can set up with it, it can just go off, or just threaten out a lot of threats with like Earthquake, like Steel, Ground, Rock. You know, they can wall out some things on my team, like the Porygon or something. I'll bring in the Charizard, you know, threaten them out with the Flare Blitz. It's all good. Earthquake, it's all good. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching. That has been the draft recap for your Detroit Darkrais. Hope for a good season, and we'll see you guys later.